Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a general collective reading. There are no signs attached to it, so only take it if it resonates for you. I haven't pulled the cards yet. I'm going to do that on camera today. So, what is wanting to come through? Okay. The mindful groupthink. I saw that card. I was just, when I was getting ready to pull the cards, when I was getting ready to do the reading, I split the deck and this card was in the middle of it. Keeping a clear mind, hurtful thoughts, groupthink. The human mind can be so many things: a prison, a latrine, a circus, a temple, a cave. It can be a place of restriction or a place of never-ending expansion. Right now, be careful of where you wander in your mind. The quality of your thoughts is key, as you're in a fertile time for full manifestation. You want to ensure that the seeds you plant will sprout and flourish into the life you seek to grow. Be mindful not to scatter weeds. It's easy to be influenced by others right now too, especially in our digital age. It's hard to protect yourself from the energy and the sheer amount of information bombarding you 24/7. If you allow all the fear and uncertainty to pollute your mind and emotions, you will fill yourself up with this negativity and then see more of it in the outer world. Stay out of gossip and other forms of groupthink, for when you cut another person down to their level, due to their perceived mistakes or limit them by your envy, you activate lack for yourself. So fill yourself with thoughts of plenty. Imagine your universe unfettered by scarcity and alive with abundant hope and goodness. Be mindful of what your mind is full of and keep the faith. Good brings more good, love more love, gratitude more things to be grateful for. Yeah, so that's very much like an energy of just paying attention to what you're focusing on, what you're thinking about, and focusing on sort of what you want to bring more of into your life is how it's coming through. It could also be sort of like when you look out into the world, when you're just going about your day, when you're sort of doing things, paying attention to what it is that your mind sort of goes to naturally. Because I feel like there may be sort of like having to sort out perhaps different energies that perhaps may be around you. Like it could be, it could be, so if you're surrounded by a lot of people, maybe there are sort of like it's kind of like maybe there's somebody with a really strong voice, or like if they have a very strong sort of like it feels like pull. Like, it feels like they have a very strong pull. So it could be that there's like I don't know. It could be a specific individual who maybe has like a really strong influence. And so just being mindful of that. And the empty well. Time to replenish. Yeah. Because I was looking at this sort of like lock and key here, right? There may be something that you want to protect from another energy that might be around you. It's kind of like, because it kind of feels like there's perhaps somebody around you, or like whatever, however this applies to you, an energy that is connected to you in some way, that perhaps like draws a lot of energy. It has a pull, whatever that means to you. And so it's kind of like there may be sort of like an energy that like pulls on you. if you spend even like a lot of time with this person or something like that, so it's kind of like just being mindful of where your energy or where your mind is going. If it's being pulled towards like certain behaviors even, or mindsets as well. Interesting. Nothing here. Time to replenish, diminishing yourself for another. The empty well reveals that there is nothing for you here. The well is dry and the desert is encroaching on your once fertile garden. It is time to face this harsh reality and move on. Give gratitude and thanks for the abundance you have experienced, and let Spirit guide you to your next destination. This might mean saying goodbye to someone or something, or insisting on changing the rules of the game. Stop diminishing yourself for the sake of another. Making yourself small will not produce the results you want. There is a lack of reciprocity of give and take. The empty well tells you that it is time to reclaim what is yours and return what does not belong to you. The shadows cast in your direction are not of your making. You do not need to react or respond to them, as they are not real. Simply shine your light upon them and see how it dispels them. These shadows are projections that you are confusing for reality. You may have been offered a shovel to help you dig yourself out of an uncomfortable situation, a bucket to drink from the well, but you cannot dig yourself out of this hole, and remember that there is no water to be found in that well. Receive the empty well as a gift. Do not exert your energy and waste your resources by repairing the walls or mending the rope. Follow the watercourse way, the aquifers that run deep in the that run deep in the earth, and you will be led to a new spring oasis. You can find these underground streams, these rich natural resources in the subterranean depths of your own heart. I was reading too fast there. Okay, so there's an end to a situation where I feel like it's not reciprocal. It's just drawing on your energy. So it's like it's time to move away from that, whatever that is. And I feel like it's also kind of coming through as being like, because if you look at this, right? This combination where it's like, this is empty, right? It's actually, I feel like, okay, this happens sometimes in retrograde seasons where the cards want to read the other way. So I'm actually feeling like, okay, we're going to pull one more card because I feel like that's going to give more context into what you're leaving. Because I feel like actually you're going into this sort of full energy, right? Like paying attention to, it's actually kind of coming through as being like, with the empty well, maybe there was like you were trying to make a wish, is kind of how it's coming through. This feels like a past energy. I feel like maybe there's something here. This feels like a past. This feels like something that you are already aware of, where it's like it has the appearance of being sort of like a wishing well, where it's like you put your wishes into it and there's a manifestation. I feel like it's not though. It's almost like this energy just takes the wishes. It takes the wishes. It doesn't give anything back. So that's an energy that you're perhaps disconnecting from. And once you do, it's like all of this sort of like new abundance sort of opens up for you. Interesting. The cosmic womb, the divine feminine. Lost in space, needing direction. There are a lot of sixes in your reading today. This could be a sort of Six of Cups energy. So it could be something from the past. Creativity, the divine feminine. The cosmic womb is a reminder that you're undergoing a beautiful process of birthing a new self into being. You don't know who or what it is yet, but you know it's full of life and love and passion and spirit. It's the perfect expression of you, imbued with love incarnate and ignited by the vital spark received from the divine. If you've had a difficult time in recent memory, feeling dry and stagnant or lost and unsupported, this is changing right now. You will feel newly inspired as so many ideas beckon for your attention. Know that you're safe to explore the expression of your rejuvenated creativity, releasing all judgment as your curiosity is piqued. You're in the most fertile cycle of your life right now, intuitively keen, with heart wide open, mindful that each step in the direction of your dreams and desires is effortlessly supported by all the divine helpers in the unseen realms. So, again, here with this, right? The needing direction, lost in space. But it's kind of like you're in the midst of some sort of like creative rebirth is how it's feeling to me. It's really interesting because I feel like there's an energy here right in the center that's being highlighted to you as being sort of like a place that is finished in whatever way. It's like there's nothing left for you here in whatever area of your life this relates to. We're going to get more cards on that because it's kind of like once you sort of leave this empty well behind, it's like here's this like fullness. Because this card was also talking about sort of like manifestation, right? Like having a lot of manifestation sort of coming in. It's kind of like there's an energy here that is like drawing on that energy. It's It feels kind of like a hungry ghost. It's to make peace with that energy. Try and make peace with it. Okay. The cosmic womb. Unity. The unity card coming out underneath the cosmic womb. That's really beautiful because I feel like there are energies sort of coming together. And this is more like, this is also looking like a womb today, right? Like the fallopian tubes and the uterus. That's really interesting. So there's a significant sort of like creation process happening for you. I feel like there's a lot of like collaboration as well, but there's something here. Like what is this empty well? The fawn. Because that one generally talks to me about like playfulness, like or like I'm just gonna read it. I haven't read this one in a while. Nature. Understanding the nature of nature, natural wisdom and natural magic. Natural magic is happening. When things flow almost effortlessly, that is a sign that natural magic is at work. Enjoy it. A very important part of natural magic is simply allowing the energy to flow through us. This means both giving and receiving freely. Let the energy flow. Don't push it. Don't try to control it. Just dance with it. Trust it. And remember to keep returning to the source for inspiration and to keep your heart filled with light. Interesting. Okay, I want to actually read the reverse part of it because it says, A situation and probably the people involved have become bogged down in murky energy and need a breath of wild, fresh air blown through them. So it is talking about connecting with nature as a remedy, or as like a way to like help bring new life again with the replenishing. Like maybe you're needing to take sort of like a nature break, whatever that means, or connecting with nature in some way. Maybe your energy has just been drained by something, whatever that is for you. Because it also kind of comes through as being sort of like the Five of Cups from the Light Seers Tarot, if you're familiar with that card, where it's like there's a woman who's like pouring all of her energy into this well, right? And it's like there's one cup left, or one or two cups left. And it's kind of like, do you want to keep putting your energy into that? I don't know. Anyways, because the guidance in this card is it's like it's time to like move on to something else, is kind of how it's coming through. With the natural cycles as well, with the fawn, it's like perhaps there's a natural ending that's happening. It'll be the Retriever. I love this card. It feels like there's something being returned to you, and it could be a return of your energy or of like your manifestations, because it's kind of like because sometimes this energy comes through as being like something that is that's been misplaced in order for safekeeping. So I feel like there's something sort of being returned to you, or you're finding something, perhaps your direction again, in order to create something. Like it's kind of like maybe you lost your direction for a minute because of the empty well. Anyways, it feels like you're going through a rebirth at the moment. Like, it feels like, okay. Because there's this pearl here. What does that one say? Ilby is trying to remind you of something you've lost. A hope, perhaps, or a dream. You may have thought it gone forever, but he is holding it out to you for reconsideration. He thinks you can do something with it now. The way may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential opening for bringing this into your life. Sometimes Ilby may be saying that a long-awaited dream is at last arriving on the scene, and there is nothing we need to do but open our hearts and minds to it. However, we usually have to work for it. Another attribute of Ilby is loyalty. So the way that this is coming through is that like maybe something became lost, or that was like temporarily sort of like misplaced. Could be like a dream or something like that, or it's like you just became disconnected from something, and the reason why is for the safekeeping of that pearl, of that dream, of the hope, because you were connected to this energy, because you don't want to throw that energy into this empty well, because it's going to get lost permanently. So it's like, I feel like there's, now that you're aware of this, the empty well, where it's like, just like, dreams go to die is basically what this energy is. it just absorbs and eats energy and hope. That's what I'm seeing with this card. It's like really intense. Like it's almost feeling like a swamp. Anyways, like you had to become aware of this energy because your dream cannot be put into this well, right? This is not a wishing well. This is just it's an emptiness. So it's like, I feel like there's something here where it's like, you're becoming aware of this empty well energy. Obviously that's going to be different for every person, but, because you're now becoming aware of this and perhaps detaching from it or like, replenishing your energy from perhaps something that was depleting it, it's like this wish now comes back to you because you're now it's kind of like this energy is returning something to you so that it can now flourish and grow because it knows you're not going to throw it into that empty well now, right? That's how it's coming through. Nalise the Alchemist. This card talks about like sort of getting out of your own way in terms of allowing a transformation to happen because it feels like there is a significant transformation. I was kind of getting this energy of like someone who's like, it's not necessarily ignoring their intuition, but it feels kind of like like arguing with the intuition. Like you have like an intuitive nudge to do something or whatever. You have some sort of intuitive knowing, but then the mind sort of comes in and being like, well, that might not be true, or like that might be just like my own projections, or like that might be whatever. It's kind of like, I feel like somebody's like fighting with their own intuition. Which is part of the process. That's how your intuition gets stronger, actually, is to fight with it a little bit. Like to like prove it to yourself, right? That your intuition is actually correct. I feel like that's part of the process as well. Sometimes you do need to fight with it a little to like to prove it to yourself. And I feel like when you do that, when you like fight with your own intuition, again, it makes it stronger, but also, what was I going to say? Oh, it builds confidence within yourself as well, because when you start actually hearing that voice better, you start trusting it without conflict within yourself, like without like. Anyways, I'm just gonna pull cards. There's a lot of like brown, earthy energy that's sort of coming through. You're reading, like, so perhaps someone's needing to do sort of like grounding. Interesting. Okay, that wasn't supposed to come out in reverse. I don't think you have the Empress. So you have the Divine Feminine, Cosmic Womb, this Unity card, which is looking also like a womb, and then the Empress underneath that. Very powerful Divine Feminine energy here. It might be in reverse though, because maybe you're not trusting this aspect of yourself, like your feminine energy. Maybe you're not trusting your own feminine energy. Like it feels like it's that's the part that's sort of being like maybe you're protecting your feminine energy from something. It could be about like what you are receiving as well, which is interesting because it kind of actually feels like maybe you're receiving something that feels like whatever, part of your manifestations, you're receiving a manifestation, but there's maybe an aspect of like protecting yourself from that for whatever reason. We'll get more cards. Maybe it was something that you like lost hope on. Like it's like maybe it took a really long time to get here. So it's like because it took such a long time, or like maybe because sometimes I see this as being like if like if you have a manifestation that's like taking a long time, sometimes it's easier or it's like less hurtful, it's less painful, it's less disheartening if you just say, well, I didn't really want that anyways, right? Like it's kind of like dismissing something like, oh well, you know what, I'm just better off without it, that kind of thing, in order to like prevent ourselves from being disappointed. That's like a protective mechanism. So it could be something like that, where it's like maybe there is a long lost hope or dream that is coming through. I'm being so cautious there as well, because I feel like somebody's like, don't get my hopes up. Please do not get my hopes up. Page of Rings. This is Page of Pentacles. It could be a child for somebody. With all of this sort of like the womb, the Unity card, the Empress, Page of Pentacles to me can talk about a child, depending on, you know, the context. It could be somebody who's like getting pregnant. I don't know. For like one of you maybe. If not that, it feels kind of like a very physical manifestation, right? Like a physical manifestation that is being birthed. If it's not that, I feel like this may also be like somebody sort of offering you something here with the sun. Like me, okay. Because obviously that example is not going to be for everyone. I feel like it could even be something like if you have been feeling sort of depleted or like, you know, energy has been murky or whatever, it's like there's perhaps like a friend or something with the Page of Pentacles like bringing you a gift, right? Something physical maybe, but it doesn't have to be. Like a new, perhaps nature, because it's coming through with this sort of like tree figure. Maybe there's sort of like a connection to nature that is very important here. I feel like it's also kind of coming through as being like, it's planting a new seed. That, again, that's going to be sort of like, there's a range of like a bunch of experiences how that one could play out. Planting a seed. Again, because you are sort of in this sort of defined feminine energy. So whatever this seed is, it's going to grow, right? It will take work. It's going to grow. Two of Cups. Two of Cups. So perhaps it's a relationship Or somebody, because it also kind of looks like this. It'll be the Retriever and the Page of Pentacles. They both have something, right? With the Unity card. It's like perhaps maybe there's an exchange of maybe there's an exchange of, like, because imagine if you have, like, there's like 2 farms is kind of how it's coming through, and each farm grows different crops, so you can exchange the crops. That's sort of how it's feeling to me. Or exchange seeds or something like that. And then you have here the Hanged Man and the Page of Wands. This is the empty well, right? The Hanged Man. It's coming through as being sort of like an energy that like does not want to. Okay, it's if you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings series, like Gollum is this character who actually has the Ring of Power for years and years and years, like decades. He has this Ring of Power, but actually just stays inside the cave the entire time, like the entire time that he has it. He does not emerge from the cave. It's like someone who, like, just, I don't know. I feel like there's so I'm saying someone. It might be a person. It could also just be, like, a mindset where it's, like, not, like, again, it's where, like, energy just gets absorbed and, it actually feels like it does a lot of, like, harm to this person. Like it's like the Ring of Power like basically consumes Gollum. Like his entire being just starts withering. And it's kind of coming out with, like, because this one looks like Bilbo, right? The difference between these two. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get into like a whole like Lord of the Rings essay here, but it's like Bilbo also had the Ring of Power for a while. They were both similar in that they didn't use the Ring of Power in order to do harm or to like gain control over people or anything like that. The difference being between these two, though, is that Bilbo was ready to give up the ring when it was time for him to do that. Gollum did not. He actually, like killed his best friend over this. Like, anyways, it's... I have no idea where this is going. Maybe there is some sort of, like, some sort of... I'm going to use the word power. It's like there perhaps was conflict within a Two of Cups. Right? Because that's where the empty will is actually coming out with the Two of Cups underneath. Perhaps a relationship of some sort, whatever kind, doesn't have to be romantic. It feels kind of like more... This doesn't feel like a romantic partnership. It feels more like perhaps friendship or kinship, where someone was not willing to let go of something and it caused an argument over an object. Like it's feeling like that. And it's like both people lose in that situation. Because it's reminding me of like this the very like my very first best friend when I was in like kindergarten, I think it was. Like we were inseparable. And there was this one day on like the school bus where one of us, I can't even remember who found it, but we found like we were on the school bus and like this like beautiful like rock. It was a rock. A beautiful like rock or stone. It was like it was polished and all that. Probably belonged to someone else on the bus, but it rolled underneath our seat, and so we picked it up and it was so beautiful. I don't even remember exactly what it looked like, but this is what this is coming through with. And we fought over it. We both wanted it. That's sort of how it's coming through. We both wanted that rock so bad that we actually got into an argument. Okay, this is like kindergarten, right? And it was so silly, right? Like, because the next day, we both realized that we missed each other. Like, it took, like, 24 hours for us to get over it. I feel like maybe this is something, obviously, that's a very trivial, sort of childlike example of this, but it kind of feels like it's much more serious than that. It's just kind of, that's just the example that's coming through here. Two of Cups relationship, where there was fighting over something, whatever that was. And it's like it disintegrated because one or both were like could not let go of something that the other wanted, maybe. Okay. So you have the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, and the Justice card. So anyways, I feel like with the Justice card, it kind of feels like maybe somebody was forced to let go of something, right? Like somebody was forced to let go of a dream or like a hope or perhaps a physical object that was quote unquote taken by another person. And it's I feel like there is something like almost like better coming in with the 10 of Pentacles, like because it's kind of going from like one pentacle into something that's much like fuller with the mind full. With the 9 of Swords though, I'm gonna get more cards to clarify that. Okay, we're gonna go this way. I feel like with the Justice card, like there's something's being returned that was lost. Oh, what's happening with my deck here? Okay, one second. Maybe there is anxiety, or it's kind of like, I feel like there are like swords here that are needing to be removed, like the 3 of Swords, right? Like there's 3 swords within the 9 that are sort of out of place, that don't belong to you. It's kind of something like that, where I feel like maybe you're in the process of removing the 3 swords that came from that dynamic or exchange or disintegration or whatever. It's removing those 3 swords. It's in the process of that. Because the 6 of Swords is sort of like being able to like move forward, like getting peace from a situation, that kind of thing. Judgment. Yeah, Judgment's coming out underneath the Empress card. It's time for you to receive something is how it's coming through. Strength beside that. I feel like it's time for you to receive something. But again, there may be sort of like... it's almost like you don't... It's like being really cautious maybe because you don't know if this is going to end up the same way that it did the first time, or that like there's just feeling like caution, or like with the Strength card even like I don't maybe you have to like fight your way out of something. 6 of Rings, 6 of Pentacles, the Hermit. There's Bilbo again. The High Priestess. Because this... Okay, we're going to talk about the High Priestess for a second. In a second. 3 of Cups. Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so it's feeling kind of like something is being returned to you that was lost, that you were forced to give up on, is kind of how it's coming through. Like it feels like like you were forced to give up on it. Because it was draining your energy in some way. Like it was like you were pouring all of your energy into something, but it wasn't working. Now I'm like switching into past tense. Maybe this is all past energy, but it's all sort of like coming back towards the middle is how it's feeling. Like it feels kind of like there's something that's like, it could be like a wound or something like that, but it's like, or a void with the empty well. It's like it's pulling on you. There's like an energy in the middle of this that's pulling on your energy, and it could be like regret. It could be like the feeling of loss as well. Like with the Hermit, it kind of feels like yeah, it's the High Priestess wants to come through as being sort of like something that you regret. Like maybe like feeling like I should have seen that sooner. I should have seen that sooner. And it's like that's sort of like blaming yourself for something. It's wanting to remove all of that energy, right? With the 3 of Swords, removing the sort of like heartbreak, removing blame, especially like blaming yourself for something. I feel like someone's really like fighting themselves about something. Like it feels like regret. The 3 of Cups, though, I feel like is sort of coming in as being like wanting to, because this is sort of how I'm like the 2 of Cups energy, whatever that was before. And there's like a new Ace of Cups coming in to sort of heal that or clean that or cleanse it or like wash away the regret. It might not be regret exactly, but it's kind of feeling like This card, maybe having trusted the wrong person or entered into something that you did not know the consequences of. Like maybe there was some sort of like whatever relationship dynamic where you got involved in something that you did not expect to sort of be this you didn't expect the fallout maybe or something like that. No, I don't think anybody can. That's the point. Like perhaps somebody's being really hard on themselves of like saying like I should have seen that or I should have handled that better, or like it's like there was no way you could have predicted how this would have happened or how this would have ended up. And besides, even if you could have predicted that, which you couldn't have, that's part of it's like I feel like that's the part of there's like a needing to accept and sort of like get out of your own way. I feel like in terms of how you're thinking about a certain situation, about like this is just part of like this is just how it was supposed to unfold. This is just how it was supposed to happen. That's how it's going through. There's no way you could have changed the outcome of this to make it less painful or less whatever. It just had to happen like this. Anyways, I'm going to get one last card. The Frog Spirit Renewal and the Wild Rose Fairy Love. There's so much renewal and love in, like, it's healing, right? It's just healing and and lovely. I feel like there's like a significant sort of manifestation that's arriving for you that's like going to renew you, replenish your energy, and a lot of love surrounding you. Something's being returned to you. And it feels like justice. So I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.